in the state of like gaming in general and the state of Nintendo in particular. One of the interesting things I've noticed upon watching hours and hours of this stuff.
Whoa.
Nice entrance. Solid 8 out of 10.
Harman, I'd like to ask you a question. Do you know how marketing everything video games are marketed works?
Is the very pervasive, incorrect claim that Sony is the market leader.
Something funny, Harman? You think all that is lie? It seems Sony PlayStation was the most popular console operating system in 2022. Market share around 88% worldwide. And this is coming from statista.com. Xbox currently second place. But I believe PC is probably the highest at this point because most people are transitioning to PCs. You know what? Let me check. PC market is way higher. First place, and then second. After that, Xbox. And I'm probably certain Nintendo is the bottom. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments.
PlayStation is the market leader. How? They stopped producing handhelds. Console sales are way down. Their first-party studios have been taken. Like, how exactly are Sony the market leaders in anything right now?
Sony PlayStation, the only way they market it, they have a lot of things. Don't forget they have PC Port, they have Nixus. Also, don't forget, at the time of this upload, there's also Marvel Spider-Man 2 coming within a week. Either 8 or 7 days. Between that.
You know, I would put like Apple over them. I'd put like Valve over them. I'd put Nintendo over them. Well, Nintendo is the real market leader. There's this very real pervasive narrative amongst Snoys.
Do you really think Nintendo's gonna be top dog? I mean, most of the people who play Nintendo are kids, okay? And don't even think that Resident Evil 5 or perhaps Marvel Spider-Man 2 is gonna go to Switch. Not gonna happen. Because those games is going to smash the Switch to the ground. By the time Marvel Spider-Man 2 boot on the Switch, it pretty much shuts down. Or kaboom at this point.
Try and present this narrative that like Sony, because of its, it's a massive Japanese conglomerate, like that somehow they're bigger, more relevant than Nintendo when it comes to gaming.
Oh, for the love of Harman, of course they're bigger than Nintendo. Jeez, do you even know how marketing works? How algorithm works, such as search engine optimization?
Is not true, has never been true in any way, shape, or form, but like, especially right now, with like the Switch being as popular as it is, like they're really trying to beat it into your head that like, no, the PlayStation is where the real games are. This is where you get the real third-party games. This is where you get the stuff for adults. This is where the real gamers play games. And it's such like
each platform, regardless whether it's PC, console, or even Nintendo, every platform has its own audience. Like for example, PlayStation is wider. Nintendo, mostly it's either teens or kids, because that's the game that mostly run is Zelda, Mario. I mean, I haven't have a Switch yet. In fact, before that, my first game was actually in a PC, House of the Dead. My dad's PC, which I don't know how he managed to get that. And then I started with consoles for a few years, and it took some time for me to transition back to the PC gaming.
It's such a tired thing to make fun of Sony fans. Like, it's gotten to the point where I don't really like acknowledge it anymore because like Sony is just is such a irrelevancy.
First off, it is for adults. Look, I'm gonna show you a graph. Let me show you. The average gamer is 33 years old, 31.3 for Europeans, 34 of Australian gamers. The average of esport players is 24 years, less than that. Let's see the age. Ah, here it is. I know it's not relevant for the countries, but here it is. Average one, most likely 33, and this is the year. Gamers in 2022, 33 years. I'm pretty much certain some people are still playing. Hell, even old people are still playing. I think I'm losing brain cells just listening to this. We're not even finished.
As Square moved away from like making those kind of games and becoming more Western oriented, which was entirely because of their attempts at appeasing the Sony empire, right? You know, Sony in a way killed Final Fantasy.
Did Sony kill Final Fantasy? I'll show you the proof.
They wanted the already established successful brand names of Mario and Zelda, right? They wanted Nintendo's already iconic gaming franchises. And of course, Nintendo said no. It was a good thing they said no. But you won't see anybody admit that. You won't see anybody address that at all. They'll always try and make...
All right, Harman. First off, before I continue anything, why are you not facing the camera? I'm serious. Why are you not facing the camera? Because you're not even looking or the camera, you're looking sideways. Your viewer's gonna leave you in minutes.
The failure of the Nintendo PlayStation looked like it was a big, massive L on Nintendo's part. Like, that's always the narrative, is that, like, oh, because Nintendo backstabbed Sony, they created their own worst enemy.
Listen, the first 8 seconds is the important thing. You have to make sure hook your viewers up. Remember, algorithm means audience. If the algorithm doesn't pick your video, it doesn't pick you at all. No one's, well, let's just say your audience doesn't like it and they don't click.
That's not true at all, right? If you do like any amount of research, like, you'll realize that, like, it is shocking just how much of this like pro Sony image that's floating around in the industry is just propaganda, corporate propaganda, to trick you into thinking this is some like glorious company that like saved gaming from the evil Nintendos, like it, and it just isn't true. It's quite the opposite, in fact. And
Also, I wanted to say, for the corporate thing, I think I agree at some point. Let's not get two ways about it. Like I said, I don't care at all as long as they're good games. And also, I even don't care about spoilers or anything, because I will be the judge of that game if it comes out, whether on console or PC. I will be the judge of it.
PS3 era, after like the $600 price tag, after Chad Warden, like, you know, the narrative started falling apart a bit. But like the Snoys, like, are such an entrenched thing in the culture that.
Why are you not on your desk? If you record on your couch, what exactly are you trying to do? Let me tell you one thing, my situation. You want to know what I'm sitting on? This is actually a hand-me-down, a second-hand chair, and I fill it with two pillows behind me. Yes, it's not comfortable, and the desk here is an L-shaped desk because it includes with the bed up here. And yes, it's uncomfortable sometimes. It always shakes sometimes when I climb up. I have to make do with what I have. That's just how it is.
Sony is universally considered a joke, but there are still a handful of people out there who just religiously hang on to like everything Sony does. And to the point where a lot of people genuinely think that like Sony can be considered the market leader, which doesn't make any sense at all. Like, by what metric?
Do you even study everything that's happening on YouTube? I mean, do you know how SEO works? Do you know how video editing works? Look, you have to do everything. You have to do, besides videography, you have to do video editing, SEO, marketing, analytics reports, and also graphic design, etc. There's a lot you have to do, and based on your channel, I'm not going to harp on it. I don't know how you got monetized, but you're not even putting enough effort.
Are they succeeding in the console space? Like, they're bleeding money. They're shutting down all their studios.
Losing monies, and yes, there were... Okay, let's talk about money first. Look, they're not going to lose any money. Yes, they're probably making less hardware because they know that their game's going to be ported to PC. And look, Horizon Forbidden West is going to be coming on PC in next year. And probably in 2025 or 2026, Marvel Spider-Man 2 is going to be coming on PC. Trust me, I think by the time Marvel Spider-Man 2 releases, Nixxes will be next to port all the Spider-Man IP to PC. Although they will have to wait until the DLC comes and then port it.
Whereas Nintendo is putting out like new stellar games basically every month, right? Like, it's crazy. Like, when you just compare the two, when you just see just how much stronger Nintendo is, like hardware wise, software wise, studio wise, like general just variety of IP wise. Like, how exactly is PlayStation beating that out ever?
Okay, that's laughable. No, they're not hardware-wise. Look, remember, every commentary community, if you ever go to, I watch a lot of commentary community who covers this. Nintendo Switch is underpowered. This is the real reason why Resident Evil 4 Remake is not gonna make it on Nintendo Switch. It's high fidelity. It's very high. Hell, Marvel Spider-Man Remaster is not gonna be coming to Nintendo Switch because it's so higher than Resident Evil. Those two games probably going to smash the Switch to the ground.
Variety of IP wise, like, how exactly is PlayStation beating that out ever? All anyone can do, and this is all they've ever done, is like bleed on about how like the AAA games are coming, the first party games are coming.
I know I'm harping this. I don't mind if I charge what, $70 or perhaps 280 Malaysian ringgit. I mean, do you know how many chicken nuggets or french fries I'm gonna get for $70? The answer is a lot. I know, I'm not supposed to start. Yo, wait, why do I even bother talking about chicken nuggets?
Okay, like what first party games? Don't tell me God of War. God of War was dead by the second game. You know, don't tell me Spider-Man.
Really? You think Sony, that's all they can do? Do you even know what those games are for? Well, besides God of War, remember, Spider-Man is a Marvel character. And not only that,
what does Nintendo do? They put out a real sequel that actually innovates. Like, just compare the reception to Ragnarok, God of War Ragnarok, versus the reception to Tears of the Kingdom. Like, Tears of the Kingdom is insanely popular.
Remember, there is also the movie The Marvel that is coming on November 10th. It can promote Marvel movies. It can promote Marvel TV shows. There is hundreds of Marvel fans out there. And you know what? Let me show you.
Like you cannot convince me that Sony can bring out anything that can topple Nintendo Switch at this point in time, right? It's just not going to happen. Like, there's a reason why Pretendo YouTubers are so adamant and like, oh, the Nintendo Switch hardware is old. People are getting tired of its outdated technology and how bad the visuals look. Because they have to do that because they have nothing else. Like, when
It's true, Nintendo is underpowered. It's not dominating anything. Look, I did some research here. Let me show you one thing.
you actually look at the metrics, when you actually look at the games, when you actually look at like what people are playing, the reality becomes clear is that like Nintendo is, oh, it always has been, the real market leader, right? There is no disputing that. There has never been any disputing that, but there are certain interests.
No, Sony is going to be the top dog. Mostly Sony, even though their PlayStation is not going to sell well, but they know PC is going to sell well more than their competition or their console. Look, in fact, Capcom recently said the majority of their sales come from PC, not Nintendo. People even the commentary community even know, who cover console wars, knows that the Switch is underpowered. Not even Resident Evil 4 can run it. I know I'm repeating that, but I just wanted to make that up. This is why Sony and Microsoft can pump out new games. It's famous enough it can get a sequel. Take a look at Marvel Spider-Man. Marvel Spider-Man is so successful, it got not just a PC port, but it's got a sequel, Marvel Spider-Man 2. And I hope that if this one is a success, Marvel Spider-Man 2, it will get another one. And who knows, it can get the Avengers in the game, which I'm praying for it. Even though it can't come in the second Marvel Spider-Man, it can come in the third one. Look, at the end of the day, Harman, people want some powerful. Yes, power is important. The Switch, yes, it can run, but look, every game wants to pump out as much power because they want more frame rates. Frame rates is, in fact, the power, of which I'm going to cover another video in my second channel in the near future. I think this guy really doesn't even know how marketing works, how frame rate works, how algorithm works. I don't want to cover this, but remember, the saltiest of this console fanboy since Starfield's release really gets to me. If you enjoy this, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And relevant content will be in the description down below, and also a link to my second channel. And up here, there will be some past videos, so you can check that out. Also, right up here is the link to my second channel also. Visit there and subscribe to there.